It's your favorite Dr. Faith Abraham, and welcome back to our channel. So today we're going to be talking about 5 things I wish I knew before I hit 40. And I know I don't look like I'm 40, but I am. And I've been married to my hubby for this year. We'll make it 18 years, and we have 3 kids. And I don't feel like I'm 40. Obviously, them kids, when they look at my license, when I go to pick up some wine or a lighter or some cough syrup, look at my thing and they like, they do, but that's neither here nor there. I am Dr. Faith Abraham, if you have no idea who I am, and I help you to make more money, live life on your own terms. So if that sounds like you, then come on, entrepreneur, come on, creator, let's get it together. I did want to share this because I really, honestly, truly wish there were some things that I knew before I started on my entrepreneurial journey, before I started on my life journey. I'm the oldest of 5. My parents immigrated here from Nigeria back in the 70s, 80s, late 70s, 80s. So I was really just figuring it out for everybody. And I just always wanted like somebody to be like, girl, sit down, let me show you, let me tell you, let me give you the 411, you know? And so I kind of embodied that and have made the channel into that, like the stuff I wish I knew. Now I tell you, so that way you don't have to go and figure it out. Because to me, wisdom is better than experience, because experience is expensive. You got to spend money on the experience, then how long it's going to take you to realize that it's a mistake or it's gone wrong, then how much it's going to cost you, then your time, then your energy, then like healing if it was a really bad mistake and left, you know, some scars on you. That's a lot, right? So I feel like wisdom is the best, and that means somebody else had to pay that price of experience, and I get to reap the benefits of the wisdom so I can go forward faster. And I've always just held on to that. So that's me. But let's go ahead and get into the video, and drop a comment if there's a couple of things that you wish like you would have known, or some things that you're in right now that you want to know. And I might make a little series out of this, but it just depends on you guys. So let me know. So the first one is your proximity determines your prosperity. Your proximity determines your prosperity. So like I said, parents are immigrants. I'm the oldest. So while they were coming up, I was coming up, which basically means I was broke. You know, we were broke. And, you know, a lot of that like lack and not having and delayed gratification, it helped me later on, but it was definitely hurtful. And it kind of just put me in this place where I kind of just wanted to be away from people because I didn't want them to see how much I lacked. And so what I ended up doing was just like adopting this like poverty mindset, this poverty spirit. And so when I finally got into entrepreneurship, I know that thing really affected me a lot as far as like making money, my pricing, different things like that. And like because I took 3 years in my coaching business to make $100,000, but I teach people how to do that in a year or even less. So why did it take me so long? Like some of that stuff was just like on me for a very, very long time. And so being next to people and sitting in rooms and being around those conversations, it did something for me. Like it just transformed. And it's like, it's a real thing. Psychologically, you know, they will tell you that, you know, your environment shapes you. You know, if it constructs who you become and who you are as a person. And so even though we're not kids anymore, we feel like, oh, kids are sponges, they absorb and pick up everything. Like, do we just stop being a sponge? No, we still pick up on everything, and our environment crafts us. So if you have people that you're around that feel like $50,000 a year is big money, then you're going to be pretty happy to be making $50K a year. But if you're around people who make $100K a year and that's their capacity, then you're going to be okay with 100K a year. If you're around people who make $1 million a year, you're going to be okay with $1 million a year. And then if you're not making that, then what happens is something in you just starts to align yourself with what they're on, and you start to do it too. So for me, proximity was a big deal, and being in those rooms where people were having those conversations that I just wasn't privy to, just with the background that I had, you know? And so like I always tell people, like masterminds, conferences, you know, having that coaching, especially like group coaching with high level people, get in those rooms because it makes a big difference on your psyche. It makes a big difference on your mindset. All right, so that's the first one. The second one is your greatest disappointments will craft your story. And I used to take pride in, I'm a perfectionist, you know, like that's just how I grew up. That's what was expected of me. Like everything has to be perfection. So I just kept going with that. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, like that ain't it. Like you can't be a perfectionist. You literally have to just be an excellentist. Perfectionist, excellent. Like you have to be an excellentist, okay? And being excellent just means whatever you do, be excellent with it. But also too, like whatever you're doing, even if you fail, so to speak, you didn't really fail, because now you can intertwine that into your story, because there's other people who will latch onto you and link up with you just because of the experiences that you've had. It's amazing. Like I literally tell people there was a time where I was only earning $9 an hour, even though I had a degree. That was not like, I couldn't even fathom that. Like that didn't even make sense. That was not what I was told. It didn't like go along with what was indoctrinated into us, which was go to school, get good grades, graduate, and you'll get a good job. But I was making $9 an hour and I had a degree. Like it was, my mind still to this day, it's like a mind fart. So $9 an hour, that was disappointing, very embarrassing, to making six figures in multiple businesses, having a tech company that has a valuation of millions of dollars. Like that's crazy to me. But that's my story. And I used to be like so embarrassed. But now I'm not embarrassed, because like in entrepreneurship, like you have to just keep going. Like you have to keep going. You have to keep trying things. And then when you try something and then you realize that's my thing, like you just keep doing it. Like, and you just keep going. And so it's a really amazing feeling. But your pain literally can drive you and force you into purpose. And someone says a lot, I can't remember who it was that said it, but pain is a connector. Like people can locate you, I say good or bad, with your pain, like based off of your pain, right? So that's another thing. So then the other, number 3 is kind of relates to number 2, is not only do you have to set boundaries, but you have to maintain them. I feel like that's like the hardest thing, because setting the boundary just by itself is a challenge. So then maintaining that boundary, because people will push your boundaries. People will test you to see how far they can go with you. Like you have to stand your ground. You have to be willing to piss people off. You have to, I hope that's not a bad word, but you have to be willing to piss people off. You have to be willing to tell people no and shut your mouth. Like don't say anything. Don't explain yourself. Just no. Sorry, I can't do it. I'm not available. And I used to get a major anxiety when it came to setting boundaries, like stuff I would talk about or I wouldn't talk about. Putting my phone on D&D, like literally I can show you my second phone. It's on D&D right now as I record this, because I just would be like, oh, I'm just going to answer the phone. It's going to be 5-minute phone call. Yeah, no, it wasn't 5 minutes. And so then my day is off. I have to recalibrate. Well, now it's lunchtime. I'm hungry. So now I have to eat. Then I do a little scrolling. And then like my day just gets away from me. And I'm like, this sucks. And you keep doing that day after day after day after day. Somebody's going to be disappointed that you don't answer the phone. Somebody's going to be disappointed that you don't go to their event. Somebody's going to, like, all that stuff is true. But you have to set boundaries just for your own sanity and the preservation of yourself. Because if you don't preserve you, nobody else will. Nobody. Okay, number 4 is having Christ is not enough. You need his principles. Can I just say, and I don't want to go off on a tangent here, though I am known to do that. I feel like when people come to God, like they feel like, okay, I'm here. God, you got this. Handle it. I'm just going to chill. Like, you know, like they just hand everything over. And I'm like, that's not how this works. Like you still have to operate by his principles, you know. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. You know, you shall have whatsoever you say. You know, you, like count the cost, you know, before you build a house. Like all these things are his principles. And like, you know, you literally have to apply those principles to your life because faith without works is dead. So if you don't apply the principles and you're like looking at God to just handle everything for you, it's like, that ain't it. So like, yeah, you can love God, serve God, you know, receive Christ, like all those things are great. However, you still have responsibility over yourself because you are a empowered individual created in his image and likeness. So if you're created in his image and likeness, then that means you're creative, you can make things happen, you can construct things, you have the ability to empower other people, speak life into people. Like you're created for these amazing things, but like just sitting there and feeling like God is just going to handle it, it's like this passive aggressive way of spirituality, of like loving and serving God. And I had to recognize that at some point in my life I was just using it as a pass, and it wasn't created or available to us to be a pass as much as it was created and available to us for us to live like brightly, like the ideal life that he's created for us to live. So that was a big one for me. Then the 5th one is you, my love, my darling, my faith. You are your greatest investment. To me, investing in myself meant going shopping, getting my hair done, getting my nails, like that was investment to me. But it's because I didn't recognize like how my mind works and how much effort I personally have to put into my mind in order for it to produce the way I want it to produce. And I can go into a whole neuroplasticity topic, you know, conversation about this. But long story short, I really had to understand how I'm wired mentally and realize that I have to invest in myself. So I have to go to the masterminds. I have to go to the events. I have to buy the courses and just be listening to the videos, listening to the conversations, listening to the coaching, listening to the thing like over and over and over again in order for it to get embedded into my subconscious. Because honestly, like a lot of people don't realize that everything that we do flows from the subconscious, and your subconscious is comprised of the stuff that you learned back in the day. And so if your life is still like producing after itself and it looks similar to how it did 5, 10, 15 years ago, it's because your subconscious is in control. You're not in control. And so you have to invest in your mindset in order for your life to start producing and you become intentional so it can produce the things and the lifestyle that you actually want for yourself. And that junk is hard, y'all. Like therapy and coaching, like I literally started my coaching business after seeing the power of coaching, the power of inner healing, the power of like overcoming the trauma. The trauma, like that stuff was so major and such like a big obstacle for me. And I had to really do the work, and I still do the work every single day. My prayer, my meditation, my journaling, like all that stuff is super duper important for me so that I can really create and craft the life that I've always dreamed of. And if I knew that long ago, I wouldn't have been so frustrated. I wouldn't have beaten myself up as much as I did. I would have really honed my creativity and my craftiness and my creativeness. Like, I just would have operated differently. And so that's the reason why I made this video and why I share those 5 with you. Because, and please share this with somebody that you think would really benefit from this and it would help them with them being successful. Like, these are the things that I wish I knew earlier and didn't have to go through for so long and figure out on my own. And so now I figured it out. I literally make sure to abide by those 5 things every single day of my life. And as I do it, it really helps to even build confidence in me because I'm honoring myself and I'm being faithful to me. And that's like everything. So if you like this video, slap the thumbs up, subscribe, let me know in the comments which particular one like really spoke to you the most. And if you want me to kind of cover a couple more, like I can do a 40 for 40, a lesson for every year of my life, I can definitely give that to you. But ultimately, just use this stuff and let my experiences be your wisdom. And I'll see you in the next video.